Welcome friends from Clinton Public School. We want to welcome you to the Clinton Fire Department. We want to virtually give you a presentation on fire safety for this year. This year's message we want to deliver is about fire safety in the kitchen. So we're starting off in our kitchen here at the firehouse just to talk a little bit about things that we want to be careful around. First of all, you see, for the ambiance, I've got a nice candle burning. You never know, you may have a candle burning for scents in the kitchen, a nice candle at dinner with mom and dad. But remember, these are not things that we want to play with. And candles, of course, come in a variety of sizes. We have short ones, we got tall ones, we even have round ones. Again, that is something that we do not want to play with in the kitchen or anywhere in the house for that matter. Now, other things that could harm us in the kitchen are, we have matches. Matches are things that we use to light our candles with. We also use them to light our stoves or our fireplaces with. And again, that is something that we don't want to mess with. That is something that could burn us. It is a useful tool, but certainly it is something that could harm us in the kitchen. The next thing that we want to be careful about is whenever we're cooking in the kitchen, there's several things that could hurt us. First of all, we have the stove. A variety of things get cooked on the stove. We cook our hamburgers, we can cook our pasta, boil our water for our oatmeal. But remember, as young adults, we want to make sure we do what? We want to make sure we stay away. And at least 3 feet. At least 3 feet away from anything that is possible that could harm us. And again, like I said, that could be a pot on the stove. Okay, it could be full of water, you see? That water could be hot, we never know. So if you have any question, always ask mom and dad. A frying pan, certainly. But also the oven. The ovens, we don't have them on right now, but certainly we use them for baking pies, baking lasagna, my favorite, or mac and cheese. That's an all-time favorite as well. But those things are hot and they can burn us. So we want to stay away from them. Another thing that could possibly potentially harm us or hurt us is our friend the microwave. Our microwave heats things up, and we want to get that pizza out because we are hungry for lunch, and we go in there, and before we ask mom and dad, we grab us, and what happens? We could burn ourselves. All right, so we want to be careful around the microwave. And again, like I said before, the rule of thumb is 3 feet. 3 feet away from things that could harm us. Now, if there is an emergency in the kitchen and something does catch on fire, what's going to notify us of there's a problem? You got it, boys and girls, our smoke alarms. Smoke alarms, we should have them in all of our rooms, outside our kitchen, outside our bedrooms, on every floor and in the basement. And what do? They beep to let us know if it senses or feels there's smoke in the house. Now, if there's smoke in the house, the smoke alarm goes off. What do we want to do? You got it. We want to get out. We want to get out and stay out. And how do we get out? We want to follow our fire evacuation plan. Now, talk to your teachers about that. Some classes, actually, you guys will put together fire evacuation plans, or you can ask the teacher, where is the plan in the school? And probably if you look to your left or your right by the door, you'll see it hung up on the wall. So that's going to tell us how to get out of the house. Now, one thing to remember is once we get out, do we go back in? No, we don't. We get out and we stay out and we go to our meeting spot. Our meeting spot is a designated area that we want to stay at until the fire department arrives and make sure that there's no more dangers in the house. Now, one more note about smoke alarms. Smoke alarms only work if you, 1, test them. So remind mom and dad they need to test them. They need to beep, just like that. And 2, they need to do a little maintenance on them. They need to change the batteries. I'm going to put him over. Change the batteries every year. Now is a good time for us to change the batteries. You can buy them in a large pack like this at Walmart or Home Depot. And just have mom and dad go ahead and change them. So every year we want to change them. I actually want to do it twice a year, once in the fall, once in the spring. But if we forget, we definitely want to get that in the fall. So remember to get out there and change the battery. Now, one more note for you guys to remember is if someone were to accidentally get in the kitchen and their clothes were to get on fire, what do we want to do? We want to, yes, shout it out. That's right. We want to stop, drop, and roll. Now, I won't get down on the floor right now, but it's certainly something that you can practice given social distancing in PE class. Proper stop, drop, and roll. Well, boys and girls, that's all the message I have for you today. I hope next year to be up and see you in person. And what I would like to do is turn the presentation over to our one and only Chief of the Fire Department, Mr. Hedden. Chief Hedden?
Hello, girls and boys of Clinton Public School. My name is Chief Jeff Hedden of the Clinton Fire Department. And right now we're going to step out into our engine bay and we'll go over the fire trucks and the gear that the firefighters wear when responding to a call. Hi CPS, Chief Hedden again, and we're back out here in the engine bay with two of our junior firefighters, Tanner Rogers and Jeffrey Hedden. They're both CPS alumni and went to school there a couple years ago. And we're going to go over all of the gear that firefighters wear during a fire. So our pagers go off at home. All of the firemen come down to the firehouse and we convene here. We get our gear on. We jump in our fire apparatus. And on the way to the fire, we finish gearing up by putting on Scott packs and helmets so that when we get out of the truck, we're ready to go and ready to fight a fire. So I'm going to gear these two gentlemen up right now. The first thing they're going to do is they're going to put their hoods on over their heads and pull them down. These are like a winter face mask that they're going to wear. It protects their neck and their head from fire. Then they're going to step into their turnout boots. And this is going to take a few minutes. They're going to pull them up. They're going to button them up. They're going to pull their suspenders up. That's to keep all the weight up on their hips and off of their bodies, so when they're fighting fire, they're free to move around. Then they're going to take their jackets and they're going to put them on to cover their upper body and their arms. You see all the extra equipment they wear on their jackets. They have flashlights, they have tags that they need to wear so that they can see inside a fire or in a dark room. They see what's going on. After that, they're going to take their air packs, and for now, they're just going to put them over their back so that they can put them on their back. In the truck, they're mounted in the seats. They would put them on the way to a fire call, and they would stand up right out of the seat and be ready to go fight a fire. So they'll put them on just like a school backpack, pulling the straps up, and they have a hip strap that goes around. Pull all those straps tight so that they're carrying all the weight on their hips and not on their shoulders. Then they're going to take their helmets and they're going to put them on the top of their heads. Then they have gloves that they'll put on their hands. They're geared up and ready to get off the truck and assist anybody with the fire call or investigate a fire alarm. Now, if there actually is a fire, they're going to have to put these masks on and they're going to have to breathe air out of the packs and from the tanks that are on their backs. These packs weigh about 40 to 60 pounds depending on the pack design and the bottle design. Ours are right in that area. So we're going to turn these on right here and they're going to make all kinds of noises. Make sure. So now their air's on and they're gonna turn around. They're gonna take those helmets off and they're gonna put the masks over their face. And they're going to pull those hoods up over their heads and around their face masks so that they seal in their necks and their heads. So what we want you to hear here is the sounds that these firefighters make when they're breathing through these masks. If this is what it would be like in a fire. They would be in these outfits and breathing this air so they can go in and make a rescue. So this is what they'll look like. They have lights blinking on their backs so that people can see them. The other firefighters in the building can see them. We know where they are. And they make all kinds of noises. So we don't want anybody to be scared by these gentlemen coming in. They're here to help, and they're here to find you. So when they start taking this stuff off, they're gonna make all kinds of other noises. And we'll have them get out of this right now, because right now they're carrying about 100 pounds of extra equipment on each of them. So that's a lot of weight to carry around in a fire. So they'll start taking this stuff off, and you'll start hearing all the noises that these packs make as they shut them down. So all the beeps and the air that you hear is a warning to the firefighter that their tank is getting low on air. Those beeps allow other firefighters to find them. In the case of an emergency, they can set off an alert. So that other firefighters can flock to that area and help them and assist them to get out of the structure. So this was just a little demonstration of how our firefighters gear up. We have a great junior program here at Clinton Fire Department. You guys are a little young, but at 15 years old, we start training young firefighters who are freshmen in high school to become active members of the Clinton Fire Department. So we're gonna go on a virtual tour here of our fire truck, Squad 45 at Clinton Fire Department. So this is our crew compartment. We could fit 6 firefighters on the way to a call. Each firefighter sits in a seat in the compartment. There's Scott packs in each seat. That's the air packs you just saw the young gentleman wearing. We have flashlights, we have a large light to help our firefighters see, and we got some radios up there so we can all communicate. The front seat, or what we would call the passenger seat in a car, is our officer's seat. The officer of the truck sits here. He commands the crew. He helps and assists the driver on the way to the call. He has a computer for navigation, and he controls all of the lights on the truck. We'll move around to the front bumper quickly. We have a large front bumper with many hose loads. This truck ventures out to Route 78 through Clinton a lot. and we have some loads here that help us to fight car fire so we don't endanger ourselves by putting hose lines in the lanes of Route 78. We also have a large diameter hose load that we could go to work with very quickly to knock down a lot of fire and structure fire. As we progress around the truck, we'll see the driver's compartment. This is where our driver, or as we call him, the chauffeur, sits. He has an onboard computer, radio, steering wheel, and he can also control many of the lights and sirens on the vehicle. As we move back on the fire truck, this is our pump panel. The driver of the truck, who sits in that driver's seat, is also in charge of pumping the truck. He's the operator and the chauffeur. So once he gets to a fire call, he puts the pump in gear, and he allows water to come into the pump, water to go out of the pump, connected to cross-lay hoses that are pre-connected to the truck, or he can discharge to any of these discharges all around the truck to put out water, to put out a fire. As we move back in the compartments, this compartment is for the driver and the operator of the truck. It has all of his hose attachments, all of his adapters, and cleaning supplies, mallets, foam adapters, and these are large diameter hose adapters so that he can get water into this fire truck at all costs. This compartment is our EMS compartment. We have an AED for a heart attack. We have a medical bag, some tarps and some runners so we can cover things, protect floors. And this is a high-rise pack. If we have to go to a large building, we can carry hose in that's not pre-connected to the vehicle. This compartment is our overhaul and rescue compartment. In this compartment, we have many tools that will assist us at a motor vehicle crash or overhauling a building. We have hooks, saws. On this side, we carry axes and the jaws of life. We also carry a few other items. Pack for the driver, just in case it gets smoky around the truck. And this is all cribbing so we can support a vehicle in the case of a motor vehicle accident. As we move around the back of the truck, our hydrant bags and large diameter hose connections, fire extinguishers, toolbox, and a lot of hose up here in the hose bed so we could lay out to a fire hydrant or a water source to supply the truck with water. Passenger side of the vehicle, our rear compartment is our saw compartment. We carry numerous saws on this truck so we can cut concrete, steel, and even trees. We carry some more extinguishers and fuel for the saws in this compartment. Our next compartment carries smoke alarms that we can install in people's houses. If we show up to a fire alarm and we have a broken smoke detector, we can install them for you. We have a blower to blow glass and debris off the highway in the case of an accident. In our last compartment on the truck, we have a lot of safety rope. We have a Scott pack. In the case of a downed firefighter, we can go in and put a Scott pack on that firefighter and help them to breathe. We also have a pump and an exhaust fan to ventilate smoke and hot gas out of a fire. And that's pretty much a virtual tour of our squad here at Station 45, Clinton Fire Department.